He's not
Oh, does
afraid of anything.
that rules the house, the small one?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
poor Jack. He's the old guy. He's almost 15, and he she shows him around.
So, do you work primarily from home, or do you have an
No,
office in your home?
no, I do have an office at home, but we have an office in downtown Denver.
Ooh, very cool. How did you choose Denver?
We so the way we started ONEMATA was that a friend of mine had started a business here in town. He's been in the staffing business forever and been my best friend for probably 20 years and never had been in business together. And he had his own location. He's right downtown, right. It's perfect location right in the center of downtown. And he had started a staffing firm for salespeople. And, he kept telling me how he wanted to have something differentiated. And so, well, hey, I've got this technology I've had in different forms for a long time. I should probably demo it for you. So I came in and demoed it to he and his partner. And they said, oh man, let's incorporate that into what we're doing and kind of change the whole vision of what the company did. That confused the heck out of people. And, because we were staffing and we had software and were we a CRM and so we ended up splitting the two companies up and the office space we're just in his office space, so we've got the use of his CFO, his HR, his space. Works great.
And then, are you guys a big fan of Slack?
We are.
I could tell.
Could you? Could you?
I hear that whenever I hear that little tick,
Yeah.
tick, 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 I'm like, oh,
Yep.
they like Slack.
Yep. Yep.
So what
That's good to be able
exactly?
to communicate, right?
Well, communication is key to life, right? You
It
just
is.
ask my wife; she'll tell you.
Yep. I agree.
So what exactly does this like fertilizes soil, or what does this onemata do?
Exactly. Fertilizes soil. Yeah. So, we like to say that we're in the divining motivated prospects business, which basically means that we're working to make the unknown known so our customers can get their cherished products and services into the hands of those who need and want their offerings. In other words, we're trying to find who do you call next? And, this is a problem that I had. If you go back in time, I had an Oracle consulting firm, and I've been a mentor a bunch of over a long time with different businesses, and I was in Founders Institute, and I was a professor at the University of Denver, and people always in all these different businesses are like, well, how do I find my customers? How do I go out there and find whether it was restaurants they were looking for, or in the um, sprinkler people, you name it. People are always kind of asking me that question: how do I find all those people? And I had written a bunch of software over time that from Android apps that were available for to find the nearest Panera or Starbucks or whatever you wanted to find, to um, then taking that and evolving it over time. When I started in Televideo, the video on demand company, we needed to find people who had video content and wanted to be able to monetize that content. And so this software had evolved over time to be able to find any company and then read through their website and find things that they're talking about. And so if you take Ratio is a good example. They're a company here in town. They have an irrigation system. Think of it like your Rainbird that works for your iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did for Ratio is, we were able to go out and find all the guys who talk about sprinklers and irrigation in the United States. There are about 200,000 of those people out there. And but what they care about are only the people who really talk about water conservation. That was kind of one of their key triggers. So, we read through all the websites of all the sprinkler guys in the country, the 200,000 of them. And then, we have a algorithm that allows you to put weight and, increase score on different words and phrases. And or things you care about, technologies they use, whatever it happens to be. And then it tells you, okay, you guys are going down to Dallas Fort Worth next week. Here are the top 10 people you should talk to while you're there.
So it's like ONEMATA, like find your tribe, right?
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of what you're doing, right? You're kind of finding
Yeah.
your tribe, your group of people.
Probably going to use that one. That's
It's all
good.
yours, man. all free, no worries. I love it.
Thanks.
It's like I spend a lot of my life learning and consolidating information, and then I make it simple for me to remember. And sometimes it makes for some good one-liners.
Right. That's great.
Because Jake later will be like, "Oh, we're doing the production schedule for review." I was like, "Oh, who's the Find Your Tribe guy?" He's like, "Ah, that's Brad Brown." He's like, "We put him out? Yeah, let's go."
That's right. Awesome.
So, and only because I believe that it's effective and useful in the market because we have so much information to sift through, and contact databases aren't the way you can find your tribe. However, it is a good way to start with a list of websites to go scan, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we find the companies as the first point, and then they always want to find contact data, or almost always. I mean, we're able to get the phone number and email addresses. We can scrape those off the website of at the company level. But what people typically want is the VP of marketing or specific contact people. So it turns out that there are hundreds of data providers out there. We've talked to, I think, pretty much every one of them. And then we partnered with them, and we just call their API and we say, hey, for xyz.com, we need the marketing guy. And then we do that for a whole bunch of them and give a confidence score and say, yeah, all these people say that this is the right email for this person. And so, we basically get the contact data from data partners.
Yeah, that's like the way to do it because a decade ago, you'd have to have data teams go manually do it. And I noticed all these about 3 or 4 years, well, about 2 years ago, I actually noticed that you can get this data through APIs, and I was so happy.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's a beautiful thing. The other really interesting thing is that there's this, I don't know if it's consortium or what you'd call it, but Common Crawl. So these guys have scraped all the data they read every website out there, and then they store it. And so there's petabytes of data out there available, and you can get access to it. Amazon publishes it on S3, and so you have access to that data too. So I just started working with reading off of that data set rather than going to each of the individual sites, because that's a fairly time consuming process. When you have 200,000 websites to read through, it's limited by your bandwidth, whereas
Right. Now,
it's Common Crawl.
is Common Crawl built off of the Wayback Machine data?
It is I think it's the other way around, but
Oh, really?
Wayback uses the Common Crawl data set.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they probably just split off, right? Or had an early partnership or something because I mean, Wayback Machine has been around for a long time.
It has been. Yeah, I always wondered that. How the heck, where are they storing all this data? Because it's a lot of data. Yeah, I can go
Yeah.
back and look at all my companies, what they look like in 1994.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple friends over at Amazon, and I was talking with them about how their internal structure is set up. And it's really unique because all their products kind of operate like as independent distributed teams, which is really
Hmm.
smart because I mean that's how you scale code systems, right? It's like that's how I
Yep.
guess you would scale all systems.
Right.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, they have a number of public data sets like that. And back when I was in the real estate valuation business, all of the counties used to publish all of their assessor data and make it available. It'd be great if somebody rolled that up and put it into an Amazon data set, because there are companies that charge a fortune to get that publicly available data.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's interesting the world that we live in now with this whole data didn't exist, now data does exist. And now we're in this interesting transition of everything from governments trying to open source taxpayer data, right? Because we pay for it, so we should have access to it. And
Right.
there's all of these data. We're like in data puberty right now, right? We
Good
really
point.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. I'm excited. I'm interested to get to watch it play out, and I'm also excited for it to be a solved problem because I'm excited for the next problem, like how we condense the AR into normal set of glasses into just your body organically.
Right.
That's exciting to me too. I think that'll
Super
happen in my
exciting.
lifetime. So,
I think so. I think you're probably right. From autonomous vehicles to you name it, right?
well, if you think about it like this, we didn't have electricity until about 130 years ago, and there are people that are 100 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going from electricity to where we are today with the number of satellites in space, just it's a lot to take in to think about no electricity,
Right.
like 130 years ago, right? And we were like prancing around for a while here on this planet. We just got it 130 years ago, and look how many satellites we have. I mean, we have pollution problems in our satellite space with orbiting stuff, right? We have like international treaties for space debris and everything like that. There's thousands and thousands of satellites up in the in orbit, right? So it's just
Exactly.
so interesting. And then I'll have a conversation. I'll say, yeah, I'm in my early 30s. By the time I'm 60, we'll definitely have that completely organic VR type situation where I don't have to, actually go type in Google. I can just think about it and the results will display to me somehow. That's completely possible in 30 years if you look at how everything's advancing so fast.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. You wonder how that will affect Alzheimer's. And if you don't have to think about a lot of things, does it cause atrophy, brain atrophy, or
Ooh,
the other way around? Stimulation.
right? Right, a little bit of both. And then the biggest question everyone's going to be asking is, will your CEO still have search engine optimization problems given his name is Will Smith? Will that just completely resolve itself, or will you have a whole
Right.
new world of problems?
That's right. Yeah.
That's a challenging name to have in a day of internet, right?
You know, one thing he's always said is that people take his calls.
Oh, you see, there's always the pros, right?
Right.
This is Will Smith calling. Uh, the Will Smith, of
The
course.
Wilson?
I was born
Yes.
this way. Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah. So, how big is your team? Like, where are you going? How are you growing? Like, are you dominating your world right now? What's the?
We are completely dominating our world. I like to start with a small team, and I've gone both ways. I've built basically gone out, raised money, and then you overbuild the team. You spend a bunch of money frivolously, and you think you're going to get to the finish line faster, but the you can't have 9 women can't have a baby in a month. I mean that. So
Oh, I
when I'm
love
doing it
that one.
myself.
I got to write that down. I really do like that. I've never heard that before.
You
Heard
haven't?
that for the
Oh
first
yeah.
time. And that's like, we're going to put it on the whiteboard.
Awesome.
It's a good
I
one.
made the whiteboard. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
you literally, when you're, racing to get there, and I learned this back when I was at Oracle. When we had a project, you can only go so fast, and so my preference is really bootstrap efforts, which means you're very efficient monetarily, and I've always felt that the best organizations and the best companies are those who are poor and you can't spend a bunch of money. So you just are very efficient. So what we have in terms of teams, we have Will, who's our CEO. We use his space, CFO, HR, all of those services. Um, And then Will has a bunch of other companies that he runs and manages, and so we'll get him for some period of time, and then he goes and works on all the other stuff, much like probably yourself in terms of what you were working on. Then I'm the tech guy, building out everything 100% me. I don't have any other people teams. I was doing 100% of the business for the first, I think it was till April of this year, and from sales to development to you name it, working with basically with Will on that. Then we hired someone for sales, Mike, and Mike is kicking butt on the sales front, and and then once we had enough customers, we decided to hire an onboarding person, and Allison is running the onboarding. And that again was removing sales from me was phenomenal, because then didn't have to, I still have to be on some of the strategic sales calls, but don't have to be out there selling day to day. And I didn't, now I don't have to be on the onboarding discussions, figuring out what it is that people want to search for, what kind of companies, what do they want to eliminate, how do they want to sort, rank, search, all that stuff. So Allison takes care of that. That's our team. We'll probably keep it that way for a while. The Will has decided that our next hire is going to be a professional comedian,
Oh,
and
nice.
so we're living in this
Seinfeld
real.
or
That would be great.
yeah,
Yeah, to go with Will Smith.
yeah. There you go. Do Will Smith and Jerry Seinfeld. Just
That's
like
right.
that's a new rule at the company. It makes talent acquisition extraordinarily difficult, but
It
worth it.
does.
Worth
Right.
it.
Totally worth it. Yeah. So yeah, we're living in this stodgy world of data, and when you look at all the companies out there, there's so many people that are selling lists, and we're really trying to have a differentiated approach to how we go about finding your next customers. And you give us your customer list, we'll load it up, we'll find other people who are in the same industry that are talking about similar things. And so we're really trying to do it differently. So, if you look at the website, Surfer Guy, completely different approach to that. If you look at our marketing material, hats, shirts, all that kind of stuff, Will has got a real flair for design, and he's got a great vision for where we're going to go. If you look at the logo, our bet, neither of us have any tattoos, but our bet to ourselves was that if we hit 100 million exit, that we each had to get a tattoo. And so hence the logo, we picked a logo that would look good as a tattoo.
That's the standard. Like I've read in a lot of business books. That's how you're supposed to design a logo.
Yeah.
That's yeah. That's what they say. That's like the.
Huh.
No, I love it though. You can
Okay.
always
I haven't seen that.
escape with the. I'm just kidding. You can always escape with like the henna tattoo, right? You're
Oh
like,
no, I don't think
no,
Will's going to let me get away with that. No.
maybe blacklight tattoo.
There are the ones that was something I came up with years ago, was the whole idea of tattoos that you could remove, because most people rethink their ink, right? So um, but somebody has one that you actually, if you basically put some sort of light on it, it breaks it down just enough so that your body absorbs it and takes it away. So
Well, that's
you
smart.
could do that kind of tattoo. That would be the right kind of tattoo for sure.
I can see you've researched this. Like I gotta find the solution.
Well, long ago, I was like, why do people get tattoos? The eagle that looks like the parrot after a while.
Yeah. Well, I think it started with like the tribal stuff, but the
It did.
yeah, I'll get a lip disc for you guys if you guys hit 100 million. I will get the
Wow.
little tribe lip disc. It will only
Wow.
be 2 millimeters in diameter. That's really small, right? Okay, yeah, it'll be 2 millimeters in diameter. It'll be one of those invisible ones, but I will
Okay.
get it. The sport. No, I love that you guys start. Look, I'm a firm believer, and the pretty much the only way to start would be a small group of people putting it together and being cash flow positive, and then growing from your cash flow. Anything else is like cheating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we Will and I talked to a ton of people from a business advising standpoint, people looking for money, and we sit and listen, and then most of the time, oh, you know what's great is you don't need money. And they look at you, no, no, I'm here because I was hoping I could get some, money to help. No, no. Listen, here's why you don't need money. Get money from customers. It's way better.
I agree. It's way easier to get money. It's from look, a lot of the people I see that do the investment thing and they really need it, it's because they're not as creative as they could be. Because here's why. So if you want, like somebody says, oh, how do you start a company without money? Well, the first thing is you create something that's valuable enough people will give you money for it.
Yeah.
Right. So that just axes out like 50% of the ideas right there. Right. So make sure somebody will actually give you money for it. And then how do you prove that? You go to potential customers and you say, hey, is this enough of a problem you would give us money? If they say, yes, it's a huge problem. We have that problem every day. I'm so glad you're solving it. Here's some money. We'll be your first customer, to help you solve it. Right.
Yep.
And you go to maybe 20 companies, right? If you get it where like all 20 or all 100 companies are saying like, no, this isn't a big enough problem. No, we're not going to give you money. Or they say, yeah, it's a big problem, but no, we're not going to give you money. Your idea is not good enough. You need an idea that's so good that company after company you go to and they're like, yes, we'll give you money for that. Yes, here's some money for that. And then you just pre-sell your product with your first customers, as long as you have like a little prototype. But you said you had a prototype and you showed Will and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
you pre-sell your first customers and then you operate off of your limited cash flow until you deliver the product. And then you deliver this product because you're not having to even sell if you get first couple customers to front your first year of stuff. And then you add in people and the great thing about this model is you already know that you're going to have a whole market that actually has this problem and is willing to pay money for it. Not, I was out with my friends last night and we had this great idea and we think that there should be an app that does this. Give me $250,000. We're going to build a prototype. I'm going to have 1,000 people test it and we'll see where it goes. It's like, no,
Yeah.
not
No,
happening.
you're speaking my language there. I mean, that's 100% of, we listen to different things. We listened to a guy last week. He's like, well, let's see. I came up with this idea. This is what I'm going to do. Well, great. How much are you going to charge? I'm going to charge, $8,000 a year. Okay, great. How much is it going to cost you to build it? Well, I found somebody to build it for $8,000. Great. So you definitely don't need money. Go, is there anybody out there who is interested in, paying the yearly fee up front? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, go talk to a few and find out. And so, he did. He came back. Oh yeah, they signed up on the spot. Great.
Great. Do it
And
again.
so, what's his next question? So, are you guys willing to fund me now? Uh, you don't need
What?
money. No, but I do. I need it to do marketing. I need to hire a sales guy. No, you're the sales guy. You go sell it. You aren't doing the development. So, you know, go pre-sell this to a whole bunch of people. It's exactly right. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I know a lot of businesses do take, a lot of money to kind of get going, and sometimes people don't have the luxury of being able to work on it.
Well, this is new, Brad. Like this wasn't happening as much in the 70s.
True.
This is like a new thing because everyone sees the how much money the technology is making, and so you get the greed on both sides. You get the investors that want to give a bunch of people money so they can make a bunch of money, and you get the people who see that the investors are handing out cash, so they say, "What's their prereq to stand in that line and get a chunk of cash?" Right? So it's
Yep.
just kind of like it's a culture thing that's happening right now, and we're watching it happen. But this wasn't happening like at this scale with this popularity in the 70s and 80s. This is a
That's
new
true.
2000
And
thing.
yeah, the interesting thing too is that it's so much easier on so many regards, right? Because like when I started IntelliRail, it was 2005 timeframe, and we were going to be the most accurate property valuation engine in the country. So that meant that I had to take all of the data from every county in the United States and put it together. And there's 110 million homes in the United States. So load that stuff up and basically run it through some sort of machine learning AI, engine, and then write my own engines, and 110 million properties, and valuing them thousands of different ways takes a massive amount of processing. And so, I came up with this whole concept of creating a grid of computers and dicing up the work, and it's kind of a map reduce on my own. And so, in 2005, I had to go out and buy the hardware to be able to do that. And so, I pulled out checkbook and wrote and spent 30 grand on a bunch of Dell hardware and enough disk to be able to store it. And if you went over what was, I forget the limit, but it wasn't much, maybe 6 gig or something like that. Once you went over, it became hundreds of thousands of dollars you had to spend instead of $30,000. And in today's world, you spin up a EC2 instance of whatever you want, whatever size you want. You try it out for an hour, see how it performs, shut it down. You're done.
Isn't it beautiful though?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I mean, the first business that we basically did fast fail on, it was this business. To your point of going out and trying out the message, it was this company called Independent Nation, where this friend of mine had the concept of going out to the political world and getting in front of politicians and coming up with messages that you could craft that and then get a message to a specific audience of people. And it was a great concept because the swing voters were really the whole they were deciding the vote every time. It wasn't the registered one side or the other. So it was how can we provide informed information from politicians directly to the people who cared about specific issues. It's a great, it's a great concept. How do you really provide good, valuable information of what you want to know about a politician? And so, we spun up EC2 instances, developed the whole thing. We went out and demoed it to a bunch of people. And he kept asking me, well, how much is this costing? I mean, these demos are amazing. We were able to say, okay, before you walk through this neighborhood, these are the homes you want to stop by. And we showed it to him on a map, and it's way ahead of its time. And I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll cover the computing costs. And it was literally an EC2 instance, spin it up, for our demos, shut it down after. And the end result was that politicians could never make a decision. When we actually had a number of politicians lined up who were in positions where they it was going to be the swing vote that was going to 100% decide. They wanted us to get to specific groups of people. We were able to find those groups of people, and they could not write a message to that group. Oh, that'll offend this group. That'll offend that group. So they couldn't do it. After a whole bunch of time, of really investigating it, talking to these politicians, we just shut it down. There's no cost, no startup cost, no shutdown cost. Okay, we proved it out. Didn't work.
Yeah, now they have the Facebook. They can
True.
like micro target and bucket everybody into these real small groups, and they can adjust their messaging accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, that's a good point. That's exactly what we were trying to create.
I was involved in like that project that for politicians micro targeting.
Awesome.
I'm trying to say at least amount as possible.
I understand.
You know what you get? That's not something like,
just too divided.
Yeah, it's way too divided. I was participating in segmenting messaging based on attributes, and that was the project. Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah, but it was interesting because it was exactly what it's like. You're just ahead of your time, Brad.
We were. Yeah, we just needed Facebook.
Yeah. Well, so did you hear about our tour?
No.
Our world tour? Oh, do you like robots and flamethrowers and all that good stuff?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. So we are doing a world tour, 16 cities, and we're actually going to be out in your area. And the way it's going to work is it's a show. It's a 90-minute show. It's a high energy technology event. So it'll be in the evening at a university near you. And the way it starts, the intro, right, is, did you see the Super Bowl with the drones?
Yep.
Okay, and like the Olympics with the drones and everything like that. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have drone swarms inside, right? And they're going to be choreographed with a live DJ music. So it'll be like a little 10-minute music intro, and there's like a media screen, and so the drones move with the whatever content's on the screen, right? And it's all kind of like choreographed as this like show, right? This intro. Little fog machines, everything. It's going to be crazy. So that's the intro, and then I come out as the host and I introduce what's going to be happening for the evening. And the first thing that's going to be happening is while I'm doing that intro, there's a big mother drone, like with a 4K camera on it, right? And that drone's flying around and getting shots of the crowd, putting it up on the screen. Then they go outside. The drone flies outside, and a contest winner from the audience will go outside with the drone and get to shoot the Elon Musk flamethrower. How cool is that?
Holy cow.
Yeah. Then what happens is we come back in and we do an interview with a super high profile, like world renowned geek, right? Somebody that's world known in the technology space, super geeky, whether it's a creator of a large billion-dollar product or a science personality like a Bill Nye, whoever it may be. Each tour, each of the 16 locations will have a different really big high profile geek, which I'll interview similar to how I interview on the show for about 15 minutes. Then what happens is we have you seen the Boston Dynamics robots that run around?
No, I don't think so.
There's these robots, and they're viral videos, and they can like look like almost dogs. And there's another one that
Oh, yeah,
walks
yeah,
upright.
sure. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Right. So we're doing our show and tell part where we'll have one of those come up on stage and do some tricks for us. Right. They're
Wow.
crazy. We're gonna try to like push them
Like
over.
the ones that open the doors and hold it
Yeah.
for the other dog. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have those and some other really cool robots. There's like a bipedal one, which is really neat, called Cassie, that looks like this drone thing that can run around. It's just basically a set of legs. It's really, really cool. And so we'll do a little show and tell with the robots and the special guests, right? And then we will announce the winners of the hardware and software hack competition. So before we arrive to the university 2 weeks before, we're going to send a competition out. The hardware teams at the university and the software teams are both going to do some sweet little hacking competition, and then we'll bring the winners up on stage, announce the winners of the hacking competition, and they each group wins $10,000 to split amongst themselves. And then we do a high energy like drone show finale, and that ends the event. It's a pretty crazy event.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
super crazy event. That's
Isn't
cool.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're excited. It's 16 universities across the world, mostly in the United States, but we hit Canada, Sweden, London. So we do get a couple, 4 or 5 spots outside of the US. So very excited. We organized it based on the largest engineering schools.
So do universities have enough? I would think you'd have to do it at a Pepsi Center or, like where the hockey teams play or somewhere. If
Yeah,
you
the
wanted to get
universities.
thousands of people, universities have enough seating.
Yeah, because they do it wherever they're.
I guess
they all have indoor stuff for like
Yeah.
graduations and things like that can hold 10,000 plus people.
Right.
So that will be enough to support the event. And so we're really excited because we're expecting it to just complete. And so it's free. Just so you know, it's free for
Seriously?
for all the college. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our press release about it went out this morning, actually, like 8 a.m. So
how cool.
Our emails are exploding right now. So we got like a high energy video that shows the drones and the flamethrowers, like all it visualizes the event for you. Yeah.
So what's the takeaway for you guys? If you aren't charging for it, you aren't going to make money. It's going to cost a lot to go to all those cities and bring the robots, and you're going to have to do that with semis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The minimum bid is 12 million, and the buy it now is 30 million for the tour. So it'll be presented by either Amazon, Intel, Microsoft, IBM, or Google. We've already met with Amazon, and we had a great call with them. Now we're just trying to figure out how to make it happen. And like NVIDIA sprung up and heard what we were doing and reached out to us. So now we've got a couple different companies. So it's out to bid, and the bid opens March 5th through March 31st. And then the tour begins late May, which is late spring 2018. So, 2-3 months.
Wow. That
Hmm.
is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So if you know anybody at any of those, well, I mean, we know like a lot of people at. I kind of think Amazon's gonna snag it up first because they're excited about it and they're just so big and dominating. But also Intel's got the drones thing. They're really strong with the drones right now. And then Microsoft has the HoloLens and Cortana, which doesn't get a lot of street cred, but I would like to see more Cortana.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have a drone?
Yeah. Do I have a drone?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I don't
Which
know what
one?
type of drone I have
Oh,
though.
I've got the DJI, which is they're pretty sweet.
You like it?
Oh, love it. Yeah,
Which
no,
one? I'm
it's
gonna write it down. It's a what?
DJI. Yeah, it's probably
DJI.
yeah, they're probably the most I would say the most drones out there are those super high def, it's a 4K camera. I mean, they're
Ooh.
amazing. Got a follow me mode so you can hop on the snowmobile and take off and
What?
have it. Oh yeah.
How much do those cost?
They're about 1500.
They're what? Sorry, you cut out.
1500.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yep.
That's crazy. It was like a Phantom.
Phantom. Yep. Phantom
I'm.
4. Yep.
Ooh, so it's not the three. It's the four. I'm looking at it right now. That's awesome, man.
Pretty
That
cool, isn't
looks.
it?
That is so cool. Way for their prices now. I was looking at drones a few years ago, and they were real expensive.
Yeah, there was one that I had done on a Kickstarter that they had advertised that you could wear this wristwatch and uh, like a device that was GPS tracking, and then you'd be able to because I'm a big snowmobiler, outdoor motocrosser on trails around Colorado, and so I thought it'd be so cool if I could just wear this thing and have it follow me.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I grew up
you
on a
know,
YZ
but the
125. So
oh nice, yeah.
yeah, I had big. There's a lot of trails in Florida.
Right. Yeah, we have our trail system here is crazy. I mean, we just have thousands and thousands of miles. So we've all got it's now they've all gone to the 4-stroke, but
Oh, I
YZF.
know.
So I've got a I don't know how many I have, but YZ 450Fs.
Nice. Oh, the DJI, the mother drone thing I was talking about is called the Inspire 2.
Oh yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. So we have a company that actually like works with Intel and goes around the world and does these shows, these drone shows. And so they put together this whole thing for us. And then right when I saw the Inspire, like the way the camera hangs down on the gimbal like that,
Yep.
I said I know that that's the one because I saw pictures of it before.
Yeah, it's the cool thing too. I mean, the thing flies so far, and I mean, we've flown it at night, have it go way far away, and you lose track of it, and it's got a come home button. You just hit that. And,
Oh my goodness.
I mean, because literally, there's no way you could figure out how to get the thing home.
Yeah, because I didn't even think about that. You can explore, but it's really difficult to get it home.
Super hard, yeah. Because when it's at a distance, you can't tell which way it's moving.
So you can't fly it through the screen.
That proves to be fairly difficult too, because on a bright sunny day, the reflection on the screen and you know it
Oh, that's right.
it's kind of hard to navigate which way you're actually going. There's when you're up high, there's not a lot in terms of which way is which.
So do you have kids? Do you bike with your kids or
I do, yeah, yeah. My
nice?
kids are grown, but
Oh,
they're
nice.
but I do bike with them. Yeah.
I have two nephews, and my brother-in-law owns like one of the popular motorcycle shops in our town.
Uh huh.
So, I mean, they're 5 and 7, and they just got rid of their training wheels on their little 80s or whatever they ride,
Right.
50s,
Yeah.
80s. So it's just so amazing, like how immature they are when we're sitting around doing family stuff, but then how responsible they are out on the trail. It's like it's like multiple like people. It's unbelievable.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love. I've always gone riding. My daughter grew up riding on an 80, and it's amazing in the power band how much those
Oh, I
things
love
are
that thing,
so
man.
powerful.
Oof. Just get a little wheelie pop on there.
Oh yeah,
All
easy.
right, so when I'm out there, we're gonna do some trail riding before because I get out
Awesome.
like a couple days before the event, and so
Great.
when I'm out there, we'll do some trail riding, and then you
I've
can
got
shoot the
plenty of
flamethrower.
extra bikes for you, so
Yeah,
love to
so
get you out there.
you can shoot the flamethrower.
Awesome.
All right,
Yeah.
dude, this is great. It was so great meeting you and talking with you today, Brad. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, same here.
So